at BNP Paribas, and he joins me now from Paris. And I will put the question straight to you. How concerned are you at this point in time about Europe's ability to really stave off that debt crisis, especially in those weaker countries?
Well, the debt crisis really becomes an issue if long-term bond yields would continue to move higher in combination with a significant further slowdown in economic growth. That is, by the way, why people are so scared about the shut-off of Russian gas supply, because that would imply a big hit to the economy. It would trigger a recession, and then, of course, you have a problem. That is why, as you and your colleagues have explained earlier in the program, you need this TPI, this new instrument. I think for the moment, there is nothing that is, let's say, very scary in the near term. What we have been seeing in recent past is that with bond yields, German bond yields moving higher, quite normally, spreads have widened somewhat. I think the more important thing is that we now have a tool that gives the ECB flexibility to react. One example could be that you would have a spread widening in Italy because of political circumstances, but then creating some contagion towards Spain, Portugal, Greece. Then the ECB would be in a position to help Spain, Portugal, Greece, whereas not doing anything with Italy because that is purely driven by country-specific problems.
And you use the word there, contagion. And when we talk about trying to keep the Eurozone together economically, it is a difficult task for so many reasons that we've discussed here. What do you see ahead, though, in terms of the ECB's strength in being able to mitigate the crisis? What tools do they have? I know we just talked about the latest one there, but do you think they can see through to this, especially since we're going into winter, into likely an energy crisis?
If we would end up in an energy crisis, it clearly would be a problematic situation for the ECB. I think that may have played a role in the decision to front-load the monetary tightening, point one, and point two, and also to insist on the fact that further rate hikes will be data dependent. That way, they have more flexibility. It would be a dilemma because you know that if gas prices would move higher significantly, profound repercussions in terms of activity, in terms of demand, yet also more inflation. What do you then do? So that's one issue that we are facing. Another issue that the ECB is facing, of course, is that at some point it will have to stop reinvesting the bonds that mature in the PEPP portfolio. And that is would also be still years off, but it would also be a factor of concern in markets. And with the new instrument they have created, they will be better equipped to address that as well.
How much does the inflation picture worry you? And when we talk about here in the United States, we talk about, of course, the robust consumer. We talk about full employment. That is not the case in Europe. So how much does that also constrain the picture here, where you could have you could have much higher inflation picture in the next year, depending on what happens in energy, and at the same time have a real problem on your hands to get to full employment?
So the real upside risks to inflation, indeed, as you say, is energy and also food. If, however, you look at early warning indicators, I would say leading indicators of inflation dynamics, there are also hopeful signs. You see, for instance, that business surveys report that companies are slightly less inclined than before to raise prices. They still want to raise selling prices, but a bit less than previously. Input prices are also rising at a slightly slower pace. So that's good. On the other hand, wage growth is accelerating and will continue to accelerate. No comparison, however, with what we see in the US. Yet what we also have in Europe is that we have major labor market bottlenecks. Companies are struggling to find people. Similar to the US, it's a source of inflation risk. But I would say on the whole, if you look at the underlying developments of inflation, what you will see is as we get into the fall of this year, that it will start to decline. But the real question is not will it go down, because it will. The real question is how fast will it go down? And that is explaining why the ECB took the decision today. They can no longer afford to wait and see what happens and to proceed with slow rate hikes, because they really kind of taking risk with their credibility. And that is why they stepped up the pace and actually created a surprise. Because as was being said earlier on the program, they had quote unquote promised 25 basis points and they did 50. Big change.
Yeah, and it has been a no-no among central bankers to surprise the markets in this way. So if they did it, it was clearly, as you said, because they see inflation as being sticky and much more difficult to drive down in this energy environment. I can't thank you enough for really parsing that for us. I will take that word from you, though. It's not scary yet. We will continue to stand by and wait for more data points out of Europe. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Up next for us, Russia.